This week we're going to work on another OptArt picture. For this picture, you're only going to really need two supplies. You're going to need a piece of white paper and you're going to need a pencil, maybe an eraser too. All right, let's get started. All right, to start this project, what we're going to do is we're going to take our hand. You're going to take your hand, put it in the middle of your paper. Make sure your fingers are open so they're not tight like this because it's really hard to trace them like that. So open your fingers up and you're going to trace around the outside of your hand using a pencil. After you finish tracing your hand, what you're going to do is just close your hand off a little bit so it doesn't have your arm part sticking out. And then just clean up any areas that you think you need to fix. I have a wedding ring on, so that kind of messed up my finger here. So I'm just going to kind of fix that spot and erase. All right? After you have your hand, you're going to start to do the part of this project that's going to make it look like OptArt. What you're going to do to make it look more like OptArt is you are going to take your pencil and you are going to start tracing around the outside of your hand. So you're going to trace around the entire outside of your hand. Think about it like your hand has like a little force field or something around it. And this line cannot touch any part of your hand. Now, it's up to you on how thick you want to make this line. If you make it really thin, your project is going to look much more detailed and actually look like it has much more illusion to it. If you make it thicker, it's going to be easier to do, but it won't have as much of an optical illusion at the end. So it's really up to you how you want to do this, all right? Just make sure you keep going and you don't touch your hand. Any mistakes you make are fine. What's going to end up happening is as you keep doing this project, those mistakes are going to end up getting bigger and bigger and making your project look more and more unique to yours. So there's no such thing as a mistake in this project, actually. So just keep drawing around the outside of your hand and do row after row until you cover the entire picture. Now, if you look, I'm getting to the end of my paper right here. So what I'm going to actually do is start pretending that my picture goes off the paper. And you just keep going with whatever line you're doing. So keep going around. And as you get to the point where you're going off the paper, you would just continue doing the pattern of your lines just like you would if it was going off the paper. So this, in theory, could keep going forever. You could actually cover a whole wall with a project like this. It could keep going on and on and on. So as you go, you might have to just pretend like it's going off the paper. And look at how those little mistakes that I'm making are starting to get bigger and bigger and making it look more and more unique. Here's a look at my completed picture. If you wanted to add a little bit more to your picture and make it look a little bit more creative, you can always go in with some color, like some colored pencils maybe would work great, or crayons, and you can create a pattern by coloring each row a different color, and it would make your picture look much more OptArt appearing, much more OptArty, I guess you could say. Send me a picture whenever you're finished. I can't wait to see what you guys create.